Hey guys, so basically, I just want to talk to you about a process for airline companies. Basically, last month I applied for cabin crew as part of Fly Dubai, which is an airline based out here in Dubai. And I'm basically I got a call today, or yesterday for you guys, basically just saying that I'd got the job. And that my training will start on the 4th of February. So basically I'm just thought I'd talk to you about the process I had to go through to get this job, because it wasn't just applying and then getting it. And I thought then if any of you are thinking of applying for cabin crew, you kind of know what to expect. So basically, first off was I went on the website just to see if there's any information about salary and things, because I don't want to apply and then find out actually the pay's not what I expected and things. So I thought I'd look into that first. And then I applied it through the website, rather than a recruitment site or anything. And then I got an email within a month, I think it was, basically saying that I got through that initial applying stage, because sometimes you don't even get through that. And that's all basically done on your CV, and if you attach a cover letter or anything. And then what I had to do was a couple of online tests. Because it's overseas, they need to make sure that you can speak, read and write English. So I had to do a couple of English tests, and there was a vocabulary test, a spelling test, just you'd read a paragraph and then you'd have to answer questions about things that were written in that paragraph, just to basically test all of your English skills. And some of the questions were quite difficult, some being British, even my spelling is not the best, but I wouldn't say it's bad. But even some of the words and definitions and things, I was like, oh god, I don't even know that. But then when you get through that, I got the same evening, I got an email saying I'd passed everything I needed to in those tests. So the next stage would be a video interview. So a few days later, I got the email about that. And it was basically, instead of, video interview sounds like a Skype interview kind of thing. But you went on their site and it would basically pop up with a question. You'd have 60 seconds to think about your answer and that, and then it would start recording. And you had about a minute and a half to answer that question. So it's basically filming the answers to the question that was written on the screen. But there's no do-overs. It is on the spot. You have 60 seconds to think about it, and then it's recording. And then as soon as that recording is finished, or you stop it, it gets sent off and it's gone. So I did that, and then it must have been a few days after that, I got a phone call from Fly Dubai saying that I had successfully got through that. So there's a flight that just went past then. And they'd like to invite me to the final stage, which was an assessment day. Problem is, it's not exactly a final stage. The assessment day is broken up down into 5 sections, which I'll go on to now. So I turned up, you had to be dressed in a suit, you had to supply CV and things. But then the first test was a height test. So basically you had to be 158 centimetres or above, which is 5'2", for those of you that do feet in inches like me. So you had to be 5'2" or taller. Obviously I passed, but even then 5 people were gone because they were too short. Then the next test was a maths test and an English test, because they needed to make sure the ones you did online, you didn't have any help and you weren't cheating. So the maths test was all about they had a price list of things that you probably would be able to purchase on the flight. And they had the conversion from dollars to dirhams, which is the UAE money. And then it'd be questions like, a person wants to buy 4 bags of crisps, 2 hot meals and 3 coffees. How much is it? So you'd work that out. You had a calculator provided, so you could use that. And then it would say, oh, they've just realised they don't have any dirhams. How much would it be in dollars? So then you'd have to convert it. And it was all multiple choice. And then the English test was online, where you had the paragraph of information and then the questions were about things written in that paragraph. So then we got through that, and then you'd go outside. They'd give you a bit of a talk on like the history of like Fly Dubai and stuff while they were marking the tests. Little tip, do read up on it, like the company you go for, if it says that on the website and stuff, how many planes they have, what type of planes they are, where they fly to, how many destinations, little things like that, chairman and stuff, because they were asking us all these questions and I went, maybe I should have actually researched it more. I knew they flew to about 89 destinations and that was about it. So yeah, definitely read up and get your information. Luckily I didn't get asked anything, but if I had, I would have been stuck. So definitely research as much as you can into it. It will help you. I'm not just saying that because it's a good thing to do. It will help you when it gets to the interview stage or assessment days. So after that, we went outside for a 10-minute break, and then they'd call, you had a name tag with a number on it, and they'd call a selection of numbers, they'd go back into the room, and then they'd say, right, you passed the test, so you're now moving on. Whereas the people that didn't get called through, that was it for them, they were going home. So the next section was like team building exercises. So you were split on tables, you just basically sat with anyone, and then we got given a sheet, and the first one for like my assessment day was Dubai is holding the 2020 Expo. You've got a certain amount of money to give to certain charities. Here's a list of charities and how much percentage of your budget they take up, and then you had to choose which like charities you thought would benefit more, and the like topic was a better world, so you had to choose the charities which you think would help create a better world, and then it would tell you the percentage of the amount of your budget it would take up, so you could split that 100% as much as you wanted, obviously as much as you could fit in, or you didn't even have to use the full 100% if you didn't want to. And I mean, like, one of the things was 60% would be sponsoring a football team, which I suppose some people think is great because it's publicity, but I thought, I don't get how sponsoring a football team that gets paid so much money anyway would actually create a better world. So that wasn't one of the ones, but there was like cancer treatments and things. And then after that, 2 people from our table got switched with 2 people from another table. So we had like a new group, and then it was your boat's sinking. In about 2 hours, it will be completely sunk. Sunk? I think sunk's the right word. So in 2 hours, it'll be fully sunk. You have, there's one lifeboat that will take 45 minutes to launch, and each person will take 15 minutes to get into the lifeboat. So you had to work out how many people you could take and then choose that many people to take. So I worked out it was 5 people that we could take, and then you had to choose your 5 people. And then that was, I mean, that one and the charities was individual for the first like 8 minutes, and then they'd say, right now, team time, so you'd all discuss and then you'd come on a final answer. So yeah, and then after that, they'd say, right, have another 10-minute break, have something to eat. No, it was just a 10-minute break, it wasn't something to eat, it was just a break. So we went out for another like 10 minutes, then they called us all, they did the whole number thing, called us back in, and then they said, right, you guys are now through. They did little like teasers, like the first time they were like, oh, unfortunately, you're going to have to stay with us. And I was saying, unfortunately, makes you think, oh, I haven't got it. And then the second time after that teamwork one, the woman who was leading it was like, unfortunately, you guys haven't made it this time, so I'm going to need you all to hand over your name tags. And then we did it, and then she was like, and then I'm going to need you all to come back after lunch, because I was only joking, you have made it through. So we were like, oh, you horrible woman, like teasing us and things. So yeah, we all, like, a selection of people got through, and I mean, we started the day with about 50, and then there was 12 of us left at this stage, and it was the final afterwards. So we all went and had a little something to eat, came back, and then it was the final stage, which was interviews, one-to-one interviews. So then you were given a time slot, you'd go in, you'd do an interview, and they'd ask you, like, why did you leave your previous job? Why this specific company out of all the other airlines? Why cabin crew specifically? And then they do like little scenarios. Oh, actually, I've missed a stage. After the teamwork one, there is a roleplay section where you go in teams of 2, and one person plays a customer and one person plays like the salesperson, and then you'd switch, and you have like 2 minutes to do this scene. The first one was I was a customer at a restaurant. There was a fly in my mushroom soup or whatever. I wanted fresh soup, it taken off the bill, otherwise I'd complain to higher authority. And the person that I was working with, he said, a customer's going to complain about their soup, you under no circumstances can give them a refund. So obviously then there's the drama, me demanding one, them not giving it, and then you had to, basically the salesperson had to come up with a good, like, reason, what's the word, when they figure it out, and sort it out. And then the next one that I was the salesperson was I was cabin crew. The customer was sat down and there was a child behind him kicking his chair and making a lot of noise, and I had to sort it out because the plane was full. Sorry, that was just an email. The plane was full, so I couldn't move him to another seat, so I had to come up with the solution for that. Then we all did that, and then some people left, and then there was 12 of us. Sorry, I missed that stage, and then it was the final interviews. So I explained all the first few questions, and then it's scenarios of, like, tell me the best day you've had in a job and the worst day you've had in a job. Tell me a problem that occurred that you resolved yourself, the toughest problem you've ever come across. And it was just like little scenarios like that that I had to explain, and there's always someone there writing down everything you say, like your answer and things. And then after that, it's basically you go home, and then they say we'll let you know within 2 weeks if you've got the job. So I did that last Sunday, so it's been a week because it's Sunday today when I'm filming this, and it's been 1 week. And one of my friends who I'm a friend I made there, unfortunately they got an email. They work for Qatar Airlines at the moment, and they got an email saying they were unsuccessful. And she was asking me if I'd heard anything. I was like, oh, not yet. But I was like, if she's had prior experience and I haven't, I was like, the chances are probably I won't. But then an hour later I got a phone call and they were saying, congratulations, you are successful. And then they sent an email with all the information that I need to, and like forms I need to fill out and what I need to bring and things. And yeah, basically tomorrow for you guys, Tuesday, I have a pre-joining meeting in which I have to take like photos and forms and things and discuss everything that's going to happen and sign my contract and things. And then on the 4th of February, I'll start my training. So yeah, I'm really happy. I've got a new job now. I've been looking for a few months since I left my old job in October. And yeah, hopefully this will be the start of a job which I'll be able to stick with for a while, that works well for me, that I enjoy and I'm good at, and it could open up a whole new chapter of my life, I suppose. I know that sounds really cheesy, but being able to travel around, meet all these different people, go to all different places. I mean, they only fly short haul at the moment, so it's only like 6.5 hours, I think it is maximum they fly. So sometimes you don't lay over, it's like stop over in a place, sometimes you just land, refuel, and then you're flying off again. But I think it's still like travelling around and meeting new people and things is like a really fun thing to do. So hopefully this will be good. So this video is basically just to explain what you'll have to go through, or what I went through, just to basically share with you what I've been up to, and if you guys are going for any airline company like cabin crew positions or anything, that kind of insight into what you'll have to do. So thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you are going through or you want any help, because I read all the comments, and I'll answer as many as I physically can, if not all of them. Just like comments if you're applying for airlines or you're thinking of it but you're not sure, any advice or anything. I'm happy to help as much as I can. And yeah, and I'll see you all next Monday. I'm going to do like a vlog. I'm going to give it a go. I'm using just my normal camera, so the quality is not going to be fantastic, because it's not a proper vlogging camera and I'm not using my phone or anything, but I'm just going to give it a go, and I'll just give you like a tour of the apartment. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week for another one. Bye!